Just about 20 minutes, the president is expected to propose new regulations to rein in carbon emissions. But our next guest warns us that this could actually mean the death of American coal companies, as well as the, almost 90,000 jobs tied to those companies. Tom Borelli is a senior fellow at Freedomworks, and he joins us now. Thank you for being here. Just to put this in perspective, 42%, I think, is the number of electricity in the United States right now is generated from burning coal. And we're talking about eliminating that, but lost in that is the number I just threw out, 90,000 jobs tied just to coal and coal mining. That doesn't even get into the utility jobs, does it?
No, it doesn't. In fact, it wasn't long ago, I think in 2007, we used to get 50% of electricity from coal. Now I think it's in the lower 30s, and that's because of President Obama's really war on coal. And today he's making history. Today, from his perch, he's basically saying, coal industry, you die.
Well, in 2008, he actually, I don't know the exact quote, but he actually said, you might know it better than I do, a quote about putting coal out of business.
Right.
But do you remember what that quote was?
Sure. He said under his cap-and-trade plan, electricity prices would necessarily skyrocket, and if you're a utility, if you choose to use coal, you will likely go bankrupt. See, that's the key issue here. He's going after utilities. We always talk about regulatory uncertainty. If you're a utility, one thing you know about coal is it's going to be more expensive in the future. They're forcing, through the boot of government, command and control to use other sources. And the consequences are going to be devastating for the industry. Not only the coal industry, you can look at those stocks, but also look at rail and also look at some of the suppliers of the coal industry. There's going to be a ripple effect because the president, through decree, not the free market.
Yeah, he's going to bypass Congress. Lou Dobbs is going to talk about that in a second.
Okay, what I wanted to ask you, though, is with our focus on becoming energy independent, why isn't there room for all sources of energy, whether it's coal or fracking for gas or oil or all of these different sources? I mean, why not just be embracing of all of them?
Well, remember, when he was running for president, he wanted all the above energy. Well, that's not obviously true because he wants to bankrupt coal. So
why is it just the energy? Is it just the pollution issue, or what? Is there anything beyond that?
No. This is all about Obama's green energy goals that he started from the beginning. Now, everybody's focused on coal, which we should, but we also have to worry about the Keystone Pipeline, and what about refineries in the United States? All those, we can be energy independent with our fossil fuel resources, but he's going to stop that by using the EPA's crackdown on carbon emissions. Coal's the first to go down. Everything else
I think
will be
the
more
EIA
expensive.
is actually saying on our current trajectory, we will be energy independent by 2035. But let me ask you about this. Let's get to the pollution issue.
Sure.
Let's give the president this issue. 34% of carbon emissions come from coal. Haven't we as a nation, we never signed on to the Kyoto protocols, and yet our carbon emissions have fallen, partially because of the recession, have fallen dramatically greater than they would have had we signed that document. But it's also because of natural gas, the issue that Lori brought up. Wouldn't this just naturally have occurred anyway? Coal-powered plants in this country are antiquated anyway. They're inefficient to operate. We would be switching to gas without this, wouldn't we?
The free market is always the best to decide, not someone sitting from the White House. I think we're at a 20-year low, actually, of carbon dioxide emissions. But please keep in mind, global temperatures haven't changed, elevated in over 10 years, and CO2 emissions have been going up. So there's still a huge question about the underlying science. But beyond that, whether it's this or any other thing, you're not going to affect global temperatures.
So if the administration is so quick to subsidize these green energy initiatives, why not subsidize coal to make it cleaner? It really is unfair.
Well, they had some proposals, but again, it is not fair because he's deciding the winners and the losers. And for investors, the easiest, I said this last year on the Fox Business Network, I said the easiest trade is shorting coal.
Now, Walter's
and
the
today,
only one that's up, but
by the way,
for other reasons.
Command and control, coal's going down. Look at First Solar. It's up 7%. Why? Because the president's saying, do solar, go away from coal.
Look at that. Alpha Natural down almost 4%. Consol off nearly by the same amount.
Alpha Natural used to be around 100 a share.
Tom Borelli, we appreciate you being here. You know, we heard from Phil Flynn to watch natural gas today, especially after the president speaks.
And it really turned around. It was up earlier. Okay.